And he drove his motorcycle that fast. He drove a big chop hog with a gang colors jacket, and he ran down citizens for laughs. He had an old lady named Petula, packed an automatic 45 gun. They had just come up from California, where they shot 6 cops for fun.
Jake thought he was the best there was. Down the interstate he'd roar, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff. They all called 104, 104.
It was late on a Thursday evening, and Jake, he was feeling kinda mean, 'cause he'd just run out of his favorite drug, you know, the one called amphetamine. So he sauntered up to Petula, and he said, say, baby, let's split. There's a little gas station on down the road that might be fun to hit. So they drove up to the station, and they both jumped off and takes a ride. They were up to derision at Jake's decision as they both sauntered inside. The attendant, he was an old man, and you know he didn't think it very funny. When Petula pulled out that great big gun and said,
honey, give me all your money.
Well, the old man opened up the cash drawer, and Jake grabbed the money and ran with Petula out the door to the big chop hog that was parked on the center kickstand. Then they headed out.
Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News, and I'm James Creechbaum. Well, this is the weather report for all the truckers out there. In the Milwaukee, Sullivan, Wisconsin area, there is a winter weather advisory has been issued into Monday evening, and snow totals could be 3 to 5 inches are expected, actually. Energy moving across the plains will bring increasing snow chances to the Great Lakes in the upper Midwest. Some pockets of heavy snow will be possible for these areas, and that means hazardous travel conditions. Also, winter weather advisories have been issued for Iowa to the upper peninsula of Michigan, where 2 to 5 inches of snow will be possible through early Tuesday. Now, let's go to the West Coast, Northwest, actually. Washington and Oregon on the coastal is going to be rain, but the other to the mid parts of those states going to be a mixture of rain, freezing rain. And then you get on out into Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, you're looking at snow. Over into lower Wisconsin, lower Michigan, Toronto, Pennsylvania, and upper Iowa, going to be a freezing rain mix with rain, heavy rain at times in Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and Kentucky. The southern states, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, storm, heavy rain, and thunderstorms at times. Coronavirus. China reveals massive toll of coronavirus on health workers. China health officials have revealed for the first time the number of frontline workers who have been infected by the coronavirus. Vice Minister of China's National Health Commission told reporters Friday that 1,716 medical workers have tested positive for the newly discovered virus. As of Friday, there was 63,851 reports of confirmed cases and 1,380 deaths on the Chinese mainland. Storm Area 51 is happening all over again. The infamous event, which saw millions of sign-ups back in 2019, is set to take place again later this year. Sadly, though, the event was marred by military warnings, organizational problems, and a rather poor showing, given that only a tiny fraction of those who had signed up actually attended the event. Now, this hasn't stopped efforts to attempt the whole thing again this year, however. Now, a recent posting by the owners of the Little Alien Inn in Rachel, Nevada, has revealed that Rachel Alien Stock 2020 will be taking place across 3 days starting on September 10th. Mount Rainier National Park closed indefinitely as mudslides and flooding turn roads into riverbeds. Weekend mudslides and flooding have indefinitely shut down access to Mount Rainier National Park. Roads leading to the park will remain closed until they can be cleared of water and debris and stabilized. Officials with the Washington State Department of Transportation and National Park Services have said. King of Prussia in Pennsylvania on February 15th actually had a UFO sighting. Here's what the witness said. Multiple lights were seen and filmed. Personally observed with my family on the way home from the King of Prussia Mall. Heading eastbound, multiple bright lights in the sky remaining stationary. Have video taken in the car while observing. This is unexplainable unless there is some type of unknown military aircraft I am not aware of. Okay, expect lane closings on I-70 and I-435 near Kansas City for all the truckers out there. If you're driving, it takes you through the Kansas City area on Interstate 70 and or 435. Be prepared for some possible delays as major construction occurs. The Missouri Department of Transportation said there will be lane closure as part of the larger construction project. The left lane, westbound I-70 from Stadium Drive to Manchester Trafficway will be closed for medium work both Monday and Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. The left lane of eastbound I-70 from Manchester Trafficway to Stadium Drive will be closed for medium work both Monday and Tuesday, and that is, again, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. Next news break, top of the hour.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
From my compound in Gig Harbor, Washington, from the Pacific to the Atlantic, to you worldwide, good evening or morning, depending on your time zone. Well, tonight, make sure you have a full tank of fuel in your car, because we're going to take you down the road of the paranormal. Can you say aliens, UFOs, conspiracies, abductions? With our guest tonight, Tom Davis. Get yourself an easy chair, get next to the fireplace, and get something warm to drink. Tonight, you're going on a real ride. Stay tuned.
Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
Well, tonight is going to be a great night tonight. We're going to talk about, well, conspiracies, cover-ups, UFO cover-ups, that is, alien abductions, and so much more with our guests at the top of the next hour, Tom Davis, a retired law enforcement officer. Is going to be a real great show. James, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Gary?
I always do. Well, great, I think.
Good. You know, there's a couple pet peeves out there in the world, but, you know, I try to get by them, you know, with all this hoaxing going on and people copycatting other people and things. But what are you going to do?
I take, depending on the copycat, you know, I kind of, what can I say? If they want to copy this show, you know, or what we're doing on this show, you know what? All the power to them, because you know what? It just is flattery.
That's right. And I don't think they realize all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes through it, not to mention money, to get where you're at.
Oh, I know. And a big shout out to radio station 1380 AM, The Answer, and 105.3 FM, The Answer. Breaking news, stimulating talk. Yeah. Well, you know what? That happens. You know, I've noticed, not just you telling me, but I got a couple of emails. I didn't really think much of it, of people, you know, doing their podcast. They must like the show enough where they kind of like started doing the wacky news and doing the news forecast first and kind of duplicating our show. So that's flattery, isn't it?
It is. But a lot of them have this the assumption that they're just going to get right on and get 10, 20 radio stations, get picked up, and just be big time. It just don't work like that, Gary.
I don't think it does. But you never know. It could, depending on what they're looking for. I have no idea. I know that it's taken me 3 years. And with an agent, Larry Hagelin, by the way, I'm going to give a big shout out to Larry. If without him, we wouldn't be on all these radio stations. I mean, he puts a lot of hours into what he does, the same as you do and I do. And even Ryan, who comes on Thursday and doing the UFO reports. We really take the show seriously. But you know what? An Idaho man breaks the record for popping 100 balloons with his feet, and ready for this, in 23.9 seconds.
That is amazing. Boy, oh boy, can you imagine if he had a foot fetish? He'd be really good. But I got to tell you, that is something else. And, speaking of popping balloons and stuff, here's a little something for people to think about out there. You know how people like to bust those bubble wraps when they get in packages?
I sure love it a lot. I do.
Now, here's the punchline. Most of that comes from packaged stuff from China. And what's going on with China? What kind of air is in those bubble wraps? The kind of stuff that you might not want to breathe. Coronavirus. Think about it. Next time you pop one.
I know. Well, you're popping, if you're not getting a virus, you're popping all that pollution from their air. I mean, they have the most toxic air in the world next to India. So just remember that. So, hey, if I was me, I wouldn't. No, I'm not going to stop popping them. I enjoy the pop, pop, pop. I kind of like, stamp on them and they go pop. And my wife goes, watch out, somebody just shot at you. And I go, no one shot at us.
I know you're addicted to them. That's why I brought it up.
Well, how do you know I was addicted to it?
I'm psychic. Hello.
Yeah, but you know what I think about psychics. Anyway, I know a man, that one insurance company has a Geico?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the insurance company, but a man gives CPR to a Geico found drowning in my favorite drink, beer.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even know where to go with that. It seems like there's always something. Now we've got a drunken Geico.
I know. Could you imagine? Hey, you want to buy my insurance? I don't know about that. Can you imagine? What does a drunken Geico do, let alone drowning in beer? It must have jumped and then ended up in a guy's cup of beer or something. I have no idea.
Well, he better be careful where he's walking or he may get pulled over and you have to do a breathalyzer wherever he's at.
Yeah, and the insurance rates will go up too, won't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
You have to get another insurance company.
Yeah, okay. Instead of having a Geico, they should have a crocodile. We take a bite out of the insurance. Anyway, animal rescuers are investigating. You ready for this? You love these critters.
Oh, no.
29 snakes, venomous snakes, in a pillowcase.
I would say somebody was trying to eliminate somebody with that. You got to be, first of all, can you imagine going in your bedroom and your pillowcase is moving around and maybe hissing? Are you really going to lay your head on that?
Yeah, if it isn't hissing, then you hear that little rattler noise, depending on what type of snakes it is.
I mean, now you've got to check your bathroom. Now you got to check your bed. You've got to check your oven. I think we're being invaded by snakes.
Well, I don't know. You know, whoever wrote the article, they said that in a year's time, if all the spiders would work together,